Hello, my friends. Although you know that the real estate market and the economy in general is changing and kind of changing pretty fast, and the inflation is going higher and higher, so let's see what's going on in the real estate market, because the information keeping you up to date will help you to make your informed decision about your real estate plans. Without further ado, let's take a look at the numbers for 11 counties in Denver and around Denver. See what was going on in October, because the numbers actually is from the prior months, because we wait until end of the month and a few days after starting the new month, then we talk about the previous month. On this kind of screenshot of general information, I'm going to give you details, more details in the next slides. But here, just wanted to give you a kind of snapshot on the numbers to see what was going on. Active listings at the end of the month for October dropped by 5% compared to September. However, it was higher than the last October by 115%. Closed homes, it means the homes that were sold and closed. It was down by almost about 25% compared to September, but it was down by 40% compared to last October. So if you pay attention to these two numbers, you can get a better picture, because the active listings at the end of the month of October 2022 was 115% higher than October 2021. However, the closed home, the sold houses in October was down by 40%. Closed price, I like actually on closed price to mention the median rather than average. In October was down by 2.4% compared to September this year. However, compared to last year was slightly higher, 5.85%, which I mean slightly compared to the prices that were jumping up almost every week and every month for several years. And now you see the still the price compared to last year is slightly higher, although compared to the previous month is lower. And days in MLS compared to prior months were slightly longer staying on the market, but compared to last October, 100% up. It means last October it was 14 days for staying a property on the market, and now it's 28 days. Okay. Let's take a look at this graph. It's kind of a busy graph, but I want you to pay attention to these last columns. The orange one, or kind of light brown column, is active listings, and the blue one is new listings, and the green one is pending. It means under contract. And kind of maroon or red, however you see it on the screen, it's closed. Okay. And if you compare the active one, this one, compared to last October here, this is October 2021, is almost twice. Okay. So, and we saw that it was 115% higher than last year. And the new listing is dropping, which is good for seller, because when the new listing drops, the number of active houses for next month will be less, and it keeps the price a little bit higher. All right, let's take a look at the median close price. So the orange one is detached and the blue one is attached. For detached, the median was $622,490 compared to last October is a little bit higher, that we showed it on the previous slide or previous two slides. And for attached was 405,000, which compared to last year 375,000 was a little bit higher. And this is the same graph on a different format. And as you know, that I am very, not very, but more interested in median close price than average close price, which the median was 566,000 for October compared to last year 534,700. Is slightly higher, but compared to past several months of this year is lower. And this is the average days in MLS we talked about on the first slide on the graphs, which for detached it was 29 days in October. For attached was 25 days, and we talked about like 28 days average of the two. And new listings. So this is, as I mentioned before, the less new listing or dropping on the number of the new listings in October helped the price to stay a little bit higher than what was expected. Okay. However, we don't know it's gonna be the same for next month or 2 months and first quarter of next year, or it's gonna go higher. The new listing will go higher, and that will cause the price drop if it happens. We don't know yet. Okay. This graph is very important because this is from 2008 to this year, October 2022. As you know, at that time in 2008, there were a lot of active listings, active houses on the market, and many of them were short sale or foreclosure, but the demand was low. If you compare the demand of past several years compared to 2008 was higher. However, if you compare the demand in 2022 here compared to 21 and 20, you see it's a little bit lower, and the number of active listings surpassing the demand. So if in next few months, especially next year, maybe first quarter or second quarter of next year, if the graph stays like this, the active listings go higher and higher, and the demand will be lower and lower, then it's not good for sellers. It's gonna affect the price if it stays like this. And this slide is kind of the summary of all slides before. So look at the active listings at month's end in October, which we talked about, 115% up. New listings was dropped by, this is compared to last year, compared to October 2021. New listing was dropped by 27 to almost 28%. Pending under contract dropped by almost 39%. Closed dropped by almost 40%. And close price median was a little bit higher than last year, although it was less than the month before. And sales volume, pay attention to this row, the sales volume. Sales volume was dropped by 35% compared to last year. Sales volume, it means the amount of money had been exchanged for the number of houses sold in 2022. This is up to October. So by end of the year, it will be different a little bit, but probably not too much. If you compare it to last year, this is a year ago, 3.3, almost $3.4 billion was the volume for 2021, and for this year up to end of October was 2.1 billion. So it's a big difference. Days in MLS, or the houses stays on the market, as you see, is very different compared to last year, twice of last year. And the close price to list price, pay attention to this. Close price to list price, it doesn't mean the close price to the original price. Because as you know, probably you see it on different websites, that the original price is very different than the list price just prior to pending, prior to going under contract. Even though, like compare the close price to the very last list price prior to going under contract was 2.8% less. It means buyers paid average 2.8% less than the list price. If you compare it to a year ago, in October, buyers were paying about 1%, 1.6% higher than the list price, because it was, for last year, average was 101%, and this ratio, close price to the list price. But this year, buyers are not willing to pay higher than the list price in many cases. Okay, and here, this graph, I put this graph, this is new compared to the previous market reports, market updates. Because here it shows the months of inventory, and I wanted you to pay attention to this for the houses, for the luxury properties, which is the price is $1 million or over $1 million. You see that we have 3.4 months supply. But if you compare it to the other, for example, the signature properties, 750,000 to 1 million, we have 2.4 supply for 2.4 months. It means if there is no any new listings in the market, coming on the market, the number of houses that supplies the demand for now, the current demand, for luxury houses, it can supply for 3.4 months. Probably you know that about 3 months, or some people they say between 3 to 6 months, is a balanced market. If it goes over 6 months, and some people they say even over maybe 4 or 5 months, we are moving toward buyer's market. So over 6 months, definitely it's going to be buyer's market. So if you pay attention to the other houses, for example, between 500,000 to 750,000, the supply is enough for 2.3 months. And for less than that, so the smaller houses still is a hot market, because the months of inventory is only 1.7 or 1.5. So most of these houses probably are attached, like condos or townhouses. All right, so this was the market update for November, which actually we talked about October, as I mentioned earlier, that we talked about the previous month because we have the numbers to the end of that month. But for December, I will try to update you the first week or the first 2 weeks of December. So we will talk about the numbers for November. If you have any questions, because case to case is different. I cannot advise you or consult you just on a presentation. This is just a general information. If you have any question about your real estate, selling or buying, or both, or investing, or whatever your plan might be, just go ahead and email me or text me. I respond to texts much better than phone call because most of the time I'm busy with different things and with other clients. So I see the text and will call you back. Okay. And you can go ahead and scan this QR code and you can go to my website, and there are a ton of information on my website regarding real estate. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you this is day after Thanksgiving but I wish you a very Thanksgiving month instead of Thanksgiving Day. And I'll talk to you later. You have a great day.